Pop Cult Online Power Hour, the video podcast dedicated to the 10-year-old in all of us. And I'm your host, Rick Gordon. This is a special edition of the Pop Cult Online. It'll be just me flying solo tonight. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we'll be right back after these brief messages.
Hey, kiddies, gather round. The man with the goodies is here. Here's a little beauty for me to Udy. Just inhale and sniff. It is aeroplane glue. Oh, one whiff, man. And
Isn't it true that sniffing glue can damage your liver and kidneys?
Cool it, kid. Looky. Amphetamines, bennies, dexies, meth.
They say amphetamines can cause something like schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia. In most cases, it does not last. Cool it, kid. Now for the barbs. Neato, nice. Ease it down at us.
Withdrawal from barbiturates can cause
Will
convulsions.
you convulse yourself out of here? Grass. Anything wrong with pot?
They're not sure yet. They just started studying about it.
Worry wart. Dig, everybody. L-S-D.
Bad trips and a chance of chromosome damage.
How do you know you got
Everything you
chromosomes?
got there can hurt you, can't it?
Sure, kid. Why do you think they call it dope? Hey, where's everybody going?
This is the Green Machine. Green Machine. 8, 9, 10 years old enough for Green Machine. A racer for guys who like a ride that's really fast. 6-shift controls, swivel action rear wheels, twist, turn, and spin like wild. Green Machine. What a ride.
Yeah.
Green Machine with stick-shift steering, some assembly required. Green Machine by Marx.
Hi, I'm Rick Gordon, and this is a special edition of the Pop Cult Online Power Hour. It's going to be a lot less than an hour. This episode, I'm going solo, and there's a reason for that. Last week, Bob and I did a show after a long hiatus, and we went for about 2 hours using Google Hangouts, which we haven't done in about a year. And come to find out, somebody never pressed the record button. So, in the meantime, we have a show coming up later in the week. But I thought I would put out this special short episode to kind of explain what's been going on. Kind of a good news, bad news scenario. So let's just dive right into it. Back at the end of February, I got a call from my father saying that the city of New York had the body of my brother. Now, I have 4 brothers. This would be the next one down from me. He was 5 years younger than me, so that would put him about 47. That was the only information that we had, that a body, a corpse as they put it, was tentatively identified as my brother. We had no other information, no cause of death, nothing. Now, a little bit of backstory with my brother is he had been battling substance abuse for his entire adult life. So, as traumatic as getting the call was, it was almost half expected in a way. We all knew that, eventually there would be a call like this. It was just a matter of when. Didn't make, getting the news any easier. Not by a long shot. We were all devastated, and I hate to sound cliche and say we were looking for closure, but I think everybody was looking for answers. My parents, my brothers, and most especially my brother's children. So there was a couple of weeks of just no answers, and in the meantime, with a crisis like this in a family, it tends to bring family together, so there was a lot of planning. What are we going to do? How is this going to be handled? Who's doing what? The word got out, and friends start calling in, and other family members. So it eventually got to a point where we had a memorial service, and just prior to that, got a few more answers as to what happened. And sorry. Turns out he had a congenital heart condition, and he had a hole in his aorta, which just filled up everything to the point where his heart just stopped beating. And I mean, that's all there is to that. He died of natural causes. So it's a relief, but it's bittersweet. I'm glad he didn't die in the streets like a junkie, like a common junkie. But I would have preferred that he didn't leave us, but unfortunately he did. So that ate up a lot of my time and emotion, and I just couldn't do much of anything for quite some time, and still a little tender about the whole subject, but every day gets a little bit better. So that was the bad news. So the good news was, at some point, as things got better, I moved on with life, and one of the aspects of moving on was seeing Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, the odd thing about being a comic aficionado, or nerd, or geek, whatever label you want to apply, is when an event like this happens, you are all of a sudden the go-to guy for all things comic books. So I was just besieged by questions, and the funny thing was, I didn't see the movie right away. I waited about a week, so it was that first week was pretty tough, especially on Facebook, with everybody being divided to the point where it was ridiculous. I just had to take a break from it. It's a movie. I enjoyed it, and I know that annoys a lot of people, but you know what? So what? It's my thing. I dug it. I dug Man of Steel. Get over it. So, my oldest son and I were coming back from the movies. We drove in separate cars because there was a bunch of us. And on our way back, we were eyewitnesses to a horrific accident. A 15-year-old boy on a bike just got hit by a car, a Kia, a white Kia Soul. So we heard the crash of the bike, the impact of this kid's body hitting the asphalt, which was just a sound you'll never forget. The guy stops. I pull up in front of him. Connor, my son, is a pre-med student, so he wants to go out and, triage, assess the situation. And we were about to do that when the kid's friend runs up to the white Kia Soul, starts pounding on the window in anger, because he just saw his friend get hit, possibly killed. The driver of the car panics and takes off, because while this kid is pounding on the window, a crowd just instantly appears. So this guy takes off. Connor and I give chase. So we are flying down the back streets of Albany, New York, streets of San Francisco style, because it's very hilly where we were. And just, careening into corners and, knocking over garbage cans, and, it was just exhilarating and scary at the same time. My adrenaline was up. Connor is amazingly has ice blood in his veins. His kid was as cool as a cucumber. He should be a jet fighter pilot. He just very slowly and deliberately did what he was doing as a sidekick. You know, he was on the phone, he was talking to 911, he was getting pictures of the license plate, and at one point, the speeds got so high, I got a little worried. I was worried about not so much myself getting into an accident, but I was worried, you know, pedestrians, other cars, that type of thing. So at one point, this guy got far enough ahead where he actually got away from us. So we went back to the scene of the accident. Connor jumped out, and when you see the kid on the ground, you immediately see that he's got a broken arm. It's broken, and it's... Ugh. So he's talking to the kid, keeping him calm. We're waiting for emergency services to show up, and you can hear the ambulances coming in from both sides. And I was on the phone with 911 when the Albany PD got there. 2 or 3 cars, about 3 or 4 officers, and you know, I told him, you know, I was one of the first ones on the scene, and then I had pictures of the vehicle, and he was surprised. So he took my phone and got the information down, called it in, and we got a little congratulatory pat on the back. Good job, attaboy. Wasn't so much for me, you know, although I did appreciate it, but it was a nice little thing for Connor to see. This is what you do, you know? This is what people do for each other. You help each other. It was a great little lesson, and, you know, we went home feeling better about a lot of things, so... That's it. So this is, like I said, this is a short little episode. It'll go up quickly, and then Bob and I will be back. Probably we'll do a show Thursday and hopefully get it up by Friday. I'm going to take some time off this Friday. I need a mental health day. All right. And that's it. So we'll see you soon.
Yeah, you make a lot of money and you make it fast. You get busted, you going straight to a jail cell, man. It's going on. Police are getting serious. I don't mean to diss, but you gotta get out of this. Straight up, man. It's a known fact. It ain't enough money that can get your life back. Straight up, freeze. Straight up, freeze. Straight up, freeze. Straight up, police. Yo, little brother, what's up with these drugs? You wanna make a lot of money and be a thug? You want these fancy cars to flaunt your money? But then you go to jail like all the other drugs. Straight up, it ain't cool. You know it ain't safe. So you got a 9mm in your face. It's a game you can't win, so don't try to play. Let's spread the word from New York to LA. We're here to tell you that drugs are for suckers. Straight up, police.